Hi all, welcome to another video of compressible fluid flow video lecture series. We will be continuing from where we have stopped in the last class. We were discussing about rate equations in the last class, and among rate equations we were deriving continuity theorem, an expression for continuity theorem for compressible flow in the last class. Okay, this continuity theorem is otherwise known as conservation of mass theorem. So far we have changed our expressions in many ways. We have derived into a differential form of the equation, and also we have derived the expression into an integral form of the situation. Okay, now this is the last expression we have reached, and it is integral cv dou rho by dou t dv is equal to negative of surface integral cs for control surface rho c dA. An important thing to notice here is the notation for the velocity. Fluid velocity is represented as small c. Okay, when compared with previous subjects like fluid mechanics, where we used a notation small v for the fluid velocity. Here we cannot use a small v because a small v in here in compressible fluid flow, small v is always specific volume. So we cannot use that notation or that representation for our fluid velocity. So we have taken small c for representing our fluid flow velocity. So from now on, small c will be always the fluid flow velocity. Okay. So in the previous expressions also we can see the fluid velocity. In flow equation also Cn1 is shown here, which is a normal fluid velocity to the control surface. And this is in inflow, that's why it is Cn1. And in outflow, it is Cn2. Now, why this negative symbol has come to the expression? We will discuss about that. See, in this expression, we know that in the right hand side, it is actually a difference between the inflow and outflow. And in vector notation, when the direction of the flow is considered, the positive value will always be a difference between the final state and the initial state. So the final value minus initial value will be always a positive value when we are considering the vector notation. But here the difference is shown here as inflow minus outflow, which is the initial value minus the final value. So when we are taking into consideration the vector notation, the initial value minus final value will yield a negative symbol here. That's why for the surface integral term, a negative symbol has come. Okay. So now this can be considered as the integral form for our rate equation for continuity theorem. Now we will again change this equation to a convenient form which can be used for analysis and problem solving. For that purpose, we will assume our compressible flow as steady and incompressible for this step. By assuming the flow as compressible or incompressible and steady, dou rho by dou t will be equal to 0 for this assumption, dou rho by dou t. So in the previous equation, if we are giving dou rho by dou t equal to 0, this entire left hand side will be equal to 0. So we can write this surface integral cs rho c dA is equal to 0. Okay, if that surface integral term is 0, we can write the inflow is equal to the outflow, because this integral cs rho c dA minus integral cs rho c dA is actually this term. So if it is 0, then that means inflow is equal to outflow. Okay, so we can write like this: integral inflow rho cn dA is equal to integral out rho cn dA. Now for one dimensional steady flow, if you are considering for one dimension, we can take this velocity as same and density will be a constant value. We can take them outside, rho and c, and inside the integral only the area, the arbitrary area will be coming. Okay, so after integrating this, we will get the term as a. So the expression will change to it will be equal to rho ca. Now we will give notations at entry and exit sections. Therefore, our equation will be equal to mass flow rate. This rho Ca is actually mass flow rate because density into velocity into area will give mass flow rate. So m dot, which is the mass flow rate, is equal to rho 1 C1 A1, which is also equal to rho 2 C2 A2 as per this condition. Okay, this is our continuity equation. When we closely look into this equation, we can see that when compared to our fluid mechanics, when compared to the continuity equation from the fluid mechanics, there is an extra term, extra parameter, which is the density. In fluid mechanics, we have actually considered the discharge. Volume flow rate is equal to area into velocity, which is equal to constant throughout. But here the conservation of mass or the continuity theorem proves that mass flow rate is constant throughout the entire flow. Therefore, we need to consider the density also since this is a case of compressible fluid flow, because a density value will be varying throughout. Okay, that's why we have two density values in entry and exit sections, rho 1 and rho 2. If it is an incompressible flow, this density value will be constant. Okay, that is the main difference. This is a continuity equation for the one-dimensional steady flow. Okay, so now as we have completed our continuity equation for compressible fluid flow by considering the flow as flow in system and control volume approach. In the same manner, we can derive the rate equation for momentum, which is known as the momentum equation. It is otherwise known as conservation of momentum. Okay, let's see what we have to do. Momentum flux through the control volume is considered. Here we will consider the momentum flux, that means momentum per time per second. Momentum per time is considered to be the momentum flux. Now, as per the Newton's second law of motion, Newton's second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum in a given direction is produced by the algebraic sum of the forces acting on the control surface in that direction. We already know this law, or Newton's second law. It deals with force and momentum. So as per this statement, we can consider the same diagram, and considering this statement, this statement of Newton's second law, we can write an expression like this. The algebraic sum of all the forces can be in a particular direction. So we are taking the x direction. In that direction, the algebraic sum of all the forces will be sigma fx. That will be equal to the rate of change of momentum. So momentum is actually mass into velocity. In velocity, we have to consider the direction also. That's why it is represented by cx. So rate of change of momentum will be d by dt of momentum. Therefore, it is d by dt mass into velocity, that is mcx. Okay, so this is the initial step for the derivation for momentum equation. Now, the momentum in the final state of the system under consideration. We will consider the same diagram, and we will be considering the momentum here. In the previous case, we have considered the mass, conservation of mass. Now we will consider the momentum. So in system, in the first instance, in second instance, that means a system at time t plus dt, the momentum will be, that will be the final state, right? The system at time t plus dt will be our final state. So the momentum in the final state of the system will be actually the sum of the momentum of these two regions, 1 and 2. So at 1 we have momentum mcx suffix 1 t plus dt, plus at region 2 mcx suffix 2 t plus dt. Now momentum in the initial state can be written like this. The initial state contains two regions, 3 and 1, mcx 1t plus mcx 3t. Therefore, rate of change of momentum. For getting the rate of change of momentum, we need to consider the final momentum minus the initial momentum, and we have to find the rate of it, and we have to apply the limit also. Therefore, d by dt mcx is the total rate of change of momentum. That can be written like this. In right hand side, we can find the limit dt tends to 0 and rate of change is given like this. Final expression for momentum, that is mcx1 t plus dt plus mcx2 t plus dt minus the initial value that is given by this expression. Okay, now we are changing the entire expression accordingly. For that purpose, we will take the right hand side first. We have taken the right hand side, not the entire right hand side. We have taken the mcx for the region 1 momentum values for the region 1 only. We know that region 1 is considered to be our control volume, so we have taken the control volume momentum values only from the right hand side, and that can be given like this: the change in momentum per time, momentum flux in control volume. Therefore this limit of the change in momentum will give dou by dou t of mcx of the control volume. Okay, dou by dou t of the momentum in control volume, because we have taken the region 1 only, mcx suffix 1. Look at this, both these terms will be having suffix 1. That's why we have written it as control volume, dou by dou t mcx control volume. Similarly, we have taken the momentum per time from the region 2, that can be written like this: mcx 2 t plus dt by dt, that is actually a sum of cx into dm2 t plus dt. Okay, change in arbitrary change in momentum in the area 2, in arbitrary change in mass dm2 in second instance into velocity in that direction, in the direction considered is x. Okay, this can be written in integral form also. That will be our outflow. Since the area 2, region 2 will be coming after the control volume, we can consider it as outflow. Therefore integral out cx dm dot, since the unit will be mass per time, so we have to consider it as mass flow rate. So cx velocity into mass flow rate. This is outflow in the case of the second region. Similarly, outflow of the momentum flux. Similarly, for the region 3, we will get inflow of the momentum flux. Okay, integral inflow cx dm dot. Now we will be substituting all these changes in our initial form of the second law of Newton's second law of motion. So delta fx, it is actually a combination of all these changes. Dou by dou t of mcx control volume. This is a change of momentum, rate of change of momentum in control volume, plus outflow. Outflow is positive here, then minus inflow. Inflow is negative here. Note that outflow for the momentum flux is positive in this case, and inflow for momentum flux is negative in this case. Now equation states that we can generate a statement from this expression. Equation states that the algebraic sum of the forces acting on the control surface, which is sigma fx in a given direction, it will be equal to rate of change of momentum within the control volume, that is dou by dou t mcx cv plus the excess of the outgoing momentum flux over the incoming momentum flux. We have used the word excess because here the outflow of the momentum flux is more than the inflow. That's why the word excess has been used. Excess of the outgoing momentum flux over the incoming momentum flux. Now elemental mass in the control volume is taken as rho dV, and the elemental entry and exit areas of the control surface are taken as dA inward and dA outward respectively. Therefore we are changing the equation. We can change our rate of change of momentum in control volume, that is dou by dou t of mcx cv like this. We can write it as integral form, just like in the continuity theorem. Integral cv, this is mass into velocity. Therefore mass can be written as density into volume, so rho dv into cx, so rho into cx into dv. Okay, now we will take this partial derivative inside the integral. So integral cv dou by dou t rho cx dv. Okay. For the time being, we will stop this now, and we will be continuing the momentum flux in the next class.